The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to instead. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Nathan, otherwise known as Old Man Builds. What's going on, guys? Man, I've been working on a presentation for the RAV and trying to get all the stuff together. So I've been in CAD most of the day, trying to get all the presentation stuff ready to go, man. This upcoming week, we're going to be over at Steve from Tesla Tech's channel, and we're going to present over there. So I've been looking through all this stuff, man, and checking everything out and see what the implications are for everything. And I found a lot of the stuff that we're doing, man, right, coincides exactly with this whole thing and what's going on. And I mean that with the Tesla coils and, how we understand gravity and stuff like that, and the Gravity Flyer project I work on. It's all coming in line with what is going on here. So I think it's pretty sweet, man, that it's turning out that way. It's kind of the fabric of the universe kind of thing. It's everything seems to be working, hand in hand with everything. And I did a video today about gravity, and I hope everybody understood it. And I just want to let everybody know it's something I didn't add to the video, and I probably should have. The center is null, but the outside of that should be plasma for a few layers. And then after that, it wouldn't be. It'd be energy. So, we're looking at things in a different way because they're not exactly the way that they teach us in school. And every time I turn around, it seems to be that way, whether it be dinosaurs or evolution or whatever you want to look at. It seems to be school was a little bit off. Old thinking, new thinking comes in. Thank you for watching that, Dennis. I appreciate that, man. I am going to Tesla Tech next year. So I haven't decided if I wanted to present or not. So I might, depending on, I'll ask Bernie and see what's going on there, but on how they do it. But I have no problem doing like one wire energy there or Tesla coil, showing them, how we can start up a whole ton of them. Anything like that. But yeah, I definitely want to be a Tesla Tech this next year. And I don't know if I'll be a presenter, just in there, checking everything out and watching the show. But either way would be fine for me. So I'll be setting that up here soon. Yeah. Hey, look, I build Tesla coils, man. It's one of those things that you're going to have to go, you know what I mean? Talk to everybody and share the wealth. So absolutely. And then we're getting through this RAV thing on the backside of things where you guys don't see it and what's going on with it. And I've been talking to Joe and also we thought it was Sean. And I think we have a great direction for this thing. The cool thing was, okay, check this out. We're looking at how you can extract power from this or amplify it. And do you guys remember Sean's Death Star coil, his round coil? Think of the implications of this. This RAV runs on resonance, and it's a very specific frequency. And if you can hit those frequencies with an outside source, you might be able to amplify the frequencies inside the RAV itself. But we looked at the spherical coil as a containment unit along with an amplifier. Now think about that. Depending on which side of the field or which one we want to amplify, we can change the resonance frequency of the outside coil to match the inside of the RAV and amplify it. And I think that's just amazing. And I'll tell you why it does it. We're looking at the amplitude. We're looking at on our oscilloscope where you look at the little amount there. We want to amplify that. And we can do that by resonating another coil outside of it. I think that's just amazing. We can take 3 different coils and resonate each part of it, or we can confine it, make it into, say, like a metal reactor with a winding on the outside where we can pull energy directly out of it. So that's just intriguing in itself. And it just takes some legwork and building a few things, man. That's not that hard, just time consuming. And then testing things out. I mean, right now we have the RAV in open air. I want to put it in a box. We got to check that thing out to see what the conditions of the air are doing to it, because I'm sure it's a lot. We're doing something that most people have confined. And I'll just let you in on the understanding of this. Everybody sees the thunderstorm generator and they create ball lightning. Let's clue this into you so you guys understand this. I know electricity a lot better than most people ever would. And the truth is, plasmoid ball lightning, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's rotational plasma inside of a field. That's what it is, based on resonance and based on null zones. And you can see it just based on the thunderstorm generator, the way it's set up. Those spheres are specific size because they're resonating them. If they weren't resonating them, who cares what the size would be? It's not a mathematical thing in an explosion or something like that. That's not what's going on, or implosion, whichever you want to say. It's not that. It's because they're resonating them. But we have something that's already in resonance itself because it self structures itself and it has resonance in there already. So it's much better in the way it builds out. It's not forcing something to happen, it's happening naturally. That's one of the things that's kind of hard for people to get over. Some people say, "Oh man, it's just a spark gap." Oh, you're just really farting around with something. It's not that way at all. This thing is building out resonance rings in it. And for those who think it's a spark gap, don't understand electricity. They don't understand energy. They don't understand how it works. As soon as you turn one of these on and you're in the room, you know the difference. I've never seen a spark gap like that, and I never would. It's completely different. So the thunderstorm generator, man, great. I understand it, but we're getting more out of this. We're seeing more. We're seeing the transmutation in it. I was wondering if it was building crystal inside the carbon that it puts down. So we got to get a lab check for that when we get into everything being specifically put in and weighed and measured and cleaned. And we get into that, man. So when we start doing that, man, we're going to start doing some lab work on it. And that's when it's really good. So yeah, I've seen yours as well, Dennis. You've been doing good, man. I see you on there. What did you hit? The pyrite. You also did the rock in there, and I think you did a crystal as well. You got to get that the thing to how do I say it, heat up a little bit more. It's not penetrating the way it needs to. Once you get that, man, you'll be set. Right on. So yeah, I've been building some stuff like that. We're looking at the all the frequencies that are going on in there. I think some people thought that we were just looking at camera effects and basing everything on that. And I'm sorry, it's just not that way. We do thermal cameras, and we're checking with a HARP device to see what the rotational value is, what the difference in, we do difference in temperature, rotational value. We see which directions are going where, which currents are going where, which electricity is going there, whether you have negative or positive electrons going into this thing, and then where are the null zones. And we're trying to figure out where the center is. Is it simply a single? And I believe it is. And I think that's kind of one of the misunderstandings of how those null zones build out. Most people think they're just spherical, just one, but that's not the case. In planets, you get multiple ones, And in suns, I don't think you get more than one. So it's a big difference, man. Hmm. Let's see. You follow Joe's idea of wrapping the anode with the secondary wire, and it worked better. Yeah, you're getting an extra magnetic field out of it, and you're changing your um, frequency. So if you put your oscilloscope probe next to it, I bet you the frequency is different than what you were getting before. So, but yeah, it definitely would work better. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's struggled with filming a little bit, and I've gotten a little bit better with it. I bought some different cameras, stuff like that, and I need different lenses in order to get nighttime vision shots better. But my cell phone pretty much hates life because as soon as I turned it on, it starts flipping on me because I've been using it next to high voltage too much. And then I got a ZVE10, which works out great. It's just not very good with the standard lens on it for nighttime. And I need to get to 1.3 f on there to get it for nighttime. The only bad thing is every time you do that, the lenses aren't very long, so and it won't zoom in. You want to be back from this thing and zoom it in, or else your camera breaks down. So yeah, kind of like a give and take to that. You want to get away from it, so you got to get a different lens to it. You know what I mean? But the value isn't as good for nighttime. So kind of back and forth on that one. But I think it's valuable in doing it because we do need the photo evidence of the thing running. So, and there's other stuff to that. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to present on this thing. So that would be pretty cool. I also talked with Bernie, and we're going to go over to Crypto's channel and present there too. So yeah, I've been working on the details, man, because some of this stuff is, how do I say this? I don't want to represent this in any way in 2D. And I think a lot of people would get a misunderstanding of what we're trying to do here. The world isn't in 2D, it's in 3. We always draw it looks like 2D. So I've been on my CAD putting it into 3D, and so we can show it properly. And then I'll be, get with my son on that Blender thing and see if we can't put it into some kind of a movable visual format that really explodes to people in their face and, hey, this is what it is. I think a lot of the science gets lost when you don't get the correct understanding of 3 dimensions. Some people will just go off and say, "Oh man, all the math's in 2 dimensions, so that's the way we got to do it." It's not, and it's frustrating arguing the point. Some of us, when we're looking at it and somebody mentions something, they automatically think, "Oh, that could be the case," but we have to follow what it's actually doing. So, yeah. Okay, setup's lower power. Yeah, to get the filming better. Yeah, that makes a big difference, man. Well, it makes a difference on the amplitude. When my amplitude goes above a certain level, there's no camera that's safe. It's just not safe. Yeah, it requires 3 vectors, and normally you get x1, excuse me, y1, y2, and then t1, t2 when you're dealing physics, and they don't use a z value. They say it's there so they can say they have 3D, but they don't. It's a misunderstanding of it. So yeah, we had to throw it and show it in 3, and then we got to get corresponding math that works in geometry with it. So I've been working hard on that, man. You know how much I loathe AI, and I had to spend several hours on it, man, just getting formulas on there that actually match what we're trying to do. Not what matches physics, but what matches what we're doing. So I don't think it's going to go over well. It's like a fart in church to these people, and I don't think it'll go over well. But I don't care. The answer is the answer, and you're going to have to deal with it one way or another. You know what I mean? It's not my problem. I don't write papers for a living. I just want the truth to get out there, and that's what it is. So, sorry, you're just going to have to deal with it that way. I won't write space time on my paper ever. It's a garbage understanding. I won't ever do it. Ever. Never. So, and I don't want to be associated with that word. Anyway, that was just a couple things that I've been working on. Been working on my testicle. You guys saw the new tip I put on there about a week ago. I've been working on trying to figure out how to make that safe on there so that everybody can have it on their coils. So once I get that straightened out, I'm going to go ahead and put out the video on that, and that should help a lot of people. Also, I'm remaking the Utron coil. I need a shaft that goes through this thing that's stronger than what I have. I want to rotate the daylights out of this thing because that's where the energy is, and I can't do it with the one that's in there. And I can't hook up metal to it. It's a problem. So we may have a workaround around that, and I'm just not sure if it's going to work or not. And that's just, lock it in and have a gearing wheel at the bottom, and maybe like a belt drive system to it to rotate it so the energy doesn't go past that, but it's going to consume so much energy in that rod. I just don't think it's going to work right. So I want to build another one that's bigger and can accommodate a bigger rod in there so that we can rotate the living daylights out of this thing. Because about says 7,600 RPM, man, this thing should come alive. So we could try a fiberglass rod. The problem is it's a 1/4 inch. I mean, think about it. I can, if we had one that at the end of it was threaded, then maybe. But the 1/4 inch is going to snap. This thing's better off, putting some stuff on it, making it a spark gap between it, something like that. But as far as rotating, man, I need at least 1/2 inch to 3/4, and I'm leaning towards 3/4. And if I could do that, man, then it'll only take me a couple of days to get this thing done since I already did one. But that's what we need to do with that, because we need to rotate it, and we need to build Sean's Death Star coil and with the sphere and do that one too. So if we can do those, man, we'll be set to go on our Tesla coils. We'll be rocking and rolling. And I set up other printers just for that. And I apologize for not having a lot of videos out, man. You can see I'm just getting it cleaned up behind me. We're not exactly 100% yet, but we're getting there. I wish I was quicker and younger. It just doesn't work. So, but it's looking good, man. The video backgrounds, I don't know if you guys saw the one I did just recently was just about testing a circuit, but more of what the video was is I'm testing my background out. I'm trying to get my videos where the background looks clean, that the tabletop is clean, you know what I mean? That things are organized, because for a lot of the testing that I've done previously, man, it's been a junk war in my garage, is what it looks like. So I'm just trying to clean that up, show a presented video of it. So that, and Ian bought a PNP from me so he can run a circuit, man. So wanted to make sure I showed it to him. It worked, and that thing cranks out the voltage. This thing's nice, man. Sometimes I forget, how good it is until I turn it on and start playing with it. So I know they're playing with your toys over there. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, the fact that I can use a Tesla coil turn on RAV is awesome as well. And we doubled up the RAV, man. And I think I'm going to be able to triple it up. And I think there's some cool stuff that'll go into that. So let me show you if I can find it real quick. The only thing is, man, I thought they would have more attraction to one another, and not so much. And you see the light overlapping a little bit. They're not locking into each other. And just so you know, all right. So what we're looking at here is the anode and cathode. I think about that for a minute. We usually see the anode on top and the cathode on bottom. So why do I say anode and cathode? Well, because once you create the crystalline structure that goes under it in the carbon, you don't need the cathode there. So now I can use it as a secondary anode because an AC flyback is equal going out of each wire. Therefore, the frequency itself should be the same on each one of them. We could tell that they're a little off because the amplitude in one is much higher than the other. But because of the size difference, the one on the right is much bigger than the one on the left. But for the first time running something, you know what I mean, with the anode and cathode out and having a, crystalline carbon form underneath, it's pretty good. So give me a second right here and I'll look it up. Got some more of this. Now, does it matter if it's one clay, two clay? It doesn't matter. It could be on the same one. Yeah, absolutely. They're AC flybacks. I also want to tell you guys, I'm sorry. I would have already done a video on the RAV and presented exactly what it's doing, but we've been working on it continuously, and kind of some of the things change. So I want to make sure I got it accurate. Here it is where I'm pointing them at each other. And I can make a RAV on each side of it. I'm looking to see if I can't get them to interact with each other in a different way. And not exactly. I need more distance between them. Now you can see I took away the whole bottom pan. I don't really need it. There's a RAV on each side. That clamp down there is just to hold it. I didn't have anything else to hold it with. So I know some of this stuff looks easy. I can assure you this is not easy. Figuring this stuff out right here. Let's take a look. That was another one. Trying to see if I got them on the same one. I don't know that I do on this one. Not in that one. That don't have it there either. Sorry, guys. Show you a couple of the things I've been working on, though. Where am I at? Remove this one. There we go. You can see we're working out all the plasma layers and the null zones and where they're at. And again, we're trying to match it in 3 dimensions so everybody sees it properly. We all see the rad build out as a sphere. It's not 2-dimensional, and I don't want anybody ever to think it is. So we're doing all the stuff like this to do in the presentation. It has to be 3-dimensional. So let me see. Even this, I'll leave the dimension on it to show the temperature in each zone, what it breaks down to be. You know what I mean? How we're looking at it. And then I'm also working on this one right here. I've been working on this one this morning. And it basically shows you the dielectric that's going on there. And it also shows you the magnetic that's going on. And it's an effect that goes on in this thing, just like it would in the Earth. It's a magnetodielectric effect. And I want to make sure I represent it in dimension so that we don't ever get somebody confusing that for something else. And one of the reasons is on some of this stuff is I'll say there's a rotational value, and some people assume that in a sphere, it's the top rotating, the bottom rotating, the center rotating. And that happens in the Earth because of the mass of the Earth. Without the mass, it wouldn't do that. The mass and the null zone that's in there is, you know, a 4-sided null zone, and it'll split that way. So it'll make that rotational thing go this way and then this way on the top and the bottom. However, with no mass in the center, it wouldn't do that. It would just go in a spherical form in one direction or the next. It wouldn't change sides. It's the 3 disc effect. If you've ever seen that in ancient history, they talk about it: the 3 spheres, the 3 discs, the 3 rings, however you want to say it. It's a rotational sphere inside of a rotational sphere inside of a rotational sphere, and it's not broken up like you'd see the wind pattern. That's only happens with mass. It doesn't happen with pure plasma. Pure plasma has no mass yet. It hasn't been converted. So just have to keep that in mind. Oh yeah, the anode makes a big difference because sometimes you get too hot of a temperature and you melt what you got down. You have to understand the RAV properly once you built it a couple times. Then you can use lighter weight anodes if you want, and it still work great. It's just getting the first one going and getting that clay set up and getting that carbon built in it. What's going on, man? Yeah, right on, man. So our organizer, mate, I understand. We had Athon. He told us all about it, man. It was awesome. Yeah, a little bit different. I mean, because this is all plasma, but you're absolutely right in the organized structure. I mean, we have to understand that energy goes through. If you're talking about the Earth, it would go through every mineral that's out there. So you're going to get that no matter what. It's an electric field. A lot of people say everything magnetism. Everything magnetism. Got to be magnetism. Well, if you know how magnetism actually works, you might rethink that. You might say everything's a dielectric. And it's because you're literally pushing the dielectric out everywhere. It's the electricity value. You're pushing it out everywhere. Okay. You're pushing that out. What happens in rotation is from that value that comes out of that, like an electric, you get a magnetic field that builds out of it, but it always wants to pull back in every time you do things, man. So what you think is your magnetic value isn't so much your magnetic value. It's your dielectric value. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that because they don't mess with this stuff. They, you know, check with the numbers on their paper and what people have said. But once you start playing with this, you really understand what it is. The core of anything has a great magnetic value. Past that, it's garbage. The magnetic value past the core of it, no matter how big your magnet is, it's always, you know what I mean? three quarters of an inch from your core is where your biggest magnetic value is. The rest of it isn't very much at all. Well, if you get past like 4 inches, say goodbye. You have no more magnetic field. 7,600 RPM on magnets that are half inch by half inch by 2 inches long, rotating four of them. You know what I mean? 7,600 RPM. I could tell you this: past 4 inches, you don't have magnetic value anymore. You have something that builds out there. Don't get me wrong, but beyond that, but when you get to 12 inches, it's pretty much dies off. There's nothing. There's just the only thing left out there is the dielectric at that point. So, yeah, magnetism isn't everything. That's a misunderstanding. Those are people who fail in anti-gravity and gravity research. If they keep telling you magnetism's everything, it's just not. It's not. It's the understanding of energy flows is what you really need to know. You know, the values between magnetism and electricity will change on you based on the frequency in the earth all the time. All the time. Oh, right on, brother. Nice. We'll take a look real quick, Dennis. Give me a second and I'll pull it up. Let's see. We got it on the shorts. Okay. Yeah, you're getting a lot more energy to it. That's for sure. Yeah, try Dennis to get a 90-degree angle to your surface. I think you turned everything as best you could, but it makes a big difference. Yeah. Nice. Let's go back real quick. This is the pyrite right here. Man, that looks cool. Oh, yeah, because you just got that connector on there on this one. That's right. Oh, it's a slow motion. That's awesome. Yeah, it's interactive here. It's just not as hot. You got to get some heat in there to begin it. But it's cool though that it's still going through the pyrite itself. Yeah, that slow motion is awesome, man. You got that thing nailed. Shell fossil, huh? Yeah, not going around it. That's for sure. Hmm. Okay, look at the light in the background of it. Oh yeah, blinks with it. Look at that. Huh. Nice. Yeah, well, it could be taking the energy. Then you had to stop lighting. Well, you saw the difference in spark, right? Okay, check this out. You see how your spark is nice and fat and it's got a lot of white in it? It means you got a lot of amps in your spark, right? So let's go back and let's look at this one. Now we look at it, your voltage coming out is purple. It's almost pink and it's spreading out. You notice the difference in there? There's still some white in there, but we're not getting that big fluffy white. We're getting more of the tendrils coming out in the purple. Now you're getting some value in there that's going to bust on that thing. You needed to get a little more thinned out. So let me think of the way you do that. You're using the Tesla coil like Joe is. Hopefully you got your anode being the number 2 coil and the cathode being go down the center of your Tesla coil. If you have that, then you should be all right there. And you got to push it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you need that you need the one going to your anode to be the number 2 coil. You need a little more power. So you said it's wired like you said, okay. Yeah, but that color is totally different on that spark. That's a total different spark. I'll tell you that right now. Watch, we'll see the other one again. Yeah, you see how fluffy it is right there? You get a little bit of the tendril, and then it stops and gets fluffy on you. Hmm. Yeah, the higher frequencies you go further. There's no question about that. It's the RF value when you get to the higher frequencies. So we see the purple in this one. You're probably too far away right there. Oh, now you got more, you put more amperage into it. Oh, that's right. You're still using those caps from the original ZVS. You're not in high voltage caps. It's not moving fast enough for you. The voltage got to get more purple. Needs to be faster. Hmm. Nice. Oh, this is Dennis's video. Just so you know. Let's see. You got a piece of quartz right here, like Joe's got. Man, Ulysses, you're awesome, brother. Thank you very much, man. 5 Old Man Builds memberships, man. Thank you. Be some awesome people getting some membership, man. Be able to check all this stuff out as much as you want on the shorts with all the member stuff, man. There's a ton of it. 2 foot radiant power. Yeah. Well, if you're activating the piezo in there, you're going to get a lot of power. Okay, give me just a second, man. Right on, Ulysses. You're awesome, brother. I wanted to show something else I got in. We had somebody else doing the rab out there, brother. I wanted to show this. Let me go. Look at that. I mean, this thing looks big. It says, I hope other people can get as much appreciation from your shows I do. I thank you for that, man. I really do. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Trying to do good work, man, as much as I possibly can to get us the answers that we're looking for. So thank you. Yeah, not a problem, Dennis. Dude, you do this stuff all the time, man. I have no problem showing it, man. Yeah, this individual contacted me on Facebook. I won't say his name in case he wanted to be anonymous on this, but you can see the rabbit itself. Man, that's like a marble size at least. And you see the same kind of like pie pan, and you can see the size of the terracotta clay right there. Yeah, that thing's huge, man. Yeah, and I think you said it was 20 or 30K. Let me give me a second. Let me take a look real quick. So he's using 3 kV. That can't be right. That's got to be like 30. Yeah, it's his power. It says 3 kV. He says it's not putting down 30 like he thought it was. So that's pretty interesting. I noticed that too. Once you get it set and you get the rev started, sometimes it takes a higher amount of power to get there, and then you have to turn it down. And there's different levels to get into in this. Okay, so let me just explain. Um, Sean's runs at about 100 kV, and it's very clean, very elegant. I found it at 220 kV kilovolts, kilohertz as well. So not kV. So Sean runs at 100 uh, kilohertz, and I found it again at 250 kilohertz, which means there's more than one frequency that this can build out in. Now, I tried in some of the other areas between then, and it wouldn't build out. It wouldn't even start. So once you have it in those areas, you'll find out exactly where the ones are. And I've been using a much bigger cap bank to do it, to get in between resonance frequencies. So, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I make these things in DC. I don't even use the AC. So if you're in AC, if you get one started, man, that'd be awesome. But we're in DC when we run them. Just so we understand each other, a DC Tesla, DC flyback or AC flyback, they're both run on pulse DC. So let me see if I can't pull that picture, and I'll just show you what they are. So this is a small version of what's going on in there. The one that Sean uses is double this. So you can see that they're AC, they're white, they're AC. I can tell you that right off the bat. They got two wires coming out, one on the top, one on the bottom. And then you see this right here. You have the core that goes through it, but on the other side, you have a little spool and wire. What that basically means every time you see that, it's basically almost a ZVS setup. You can use one transistor or one MOSFET in order to turn that on, but it's basically a pulse DC. So there's no AC running inside this thing, but what comes out of it is a high voltage magnetic frequency. It's what you're getting out of it, not necessarily AC. I think that's a misunderstanding. Well, yeah, we need both. I won't disagree with that at all. We need both the dielectric and magnetic. Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Yeah, this is just the inside of what Sean's using. Just so you know, his has 4 in it, and the one I bought recently, I believe, has 4 as well. But this is what's inside of them. And you can see what you'll see is a 555 timer chip over there, which regulates the frequency on this thing. And you can see the full bridge rectifier. I can see it right there by the capacitor right in front of it. So they may plug AC in, but it immediately converts to DC through it and starts pulsing those coils. AC by itself would never pulse a coil, just so you know that. It doesn't work that way. I've tried it. It doesn't work. Yeah, well, it's already kind of working the way it is. I don't think you want to try to switch anything. And like I said, look, let's just clear this up. There's no such thing as AC coming out of a AC or DC flyback. Okay, let's just understand that right now. It's not. There's no AC coming out of it. It's high voltage potential that's out of the positive side on a DC flyback, but there's no AC coming out of that. It just isn't. Anything that you get out of that, you would have to convert back to DC and then back to AC to work. There's nothing coming out of that that's AC. Most of the stuff, it comes out as a magnetic pulse. So what is it? Like a bobbin, get wire wrapped around it in different levels. Okay. And then it just builds out a magnetic field. It is basically what it's doing. And it's top and bottom wire. It's even coming out both. So you're basically in a magnetic field on both. And the frequency, you can change the frequency by the 555 timer chip, and it'll absolutely let you change the frequency and regulate it. And it'll come down. And what you'll find is both the anode and cathode are equal the same as soon as you measure them. So that's why you use the AC one, because they're equal on both sides. The DC one is not equal. One's magnetic, one's high voltage potential coming out the positive side. But that's the difference between the two coils. That whole thing about AC is a misunderstanding. I don't know who came up with it, but they really screwed up a lot of people's minds. What's going on, man? Nice to see you here, brother. Nice. Check on the oscilloscope. It's positive and negative. Of course it is. That's the way they set them. I could tell you right now what it is. So just understand this when they do that. Okay, you already altered the energy going in. Just understand that. You say, well, I ran it in DC and it was a loop. Well, you ran it to the core and pulsed the core of it. Your loop stopped at that bobbin. Your bobbin, as soon as you ran the end of it, ran to it, ran around it, went back to your ZVS or anything else, that's where your closed loop stopped. Then you know that loop enabled you pulse the core. The pulse core goes over and excites the other side, and then that puts out the energy. Is it AC or DC at that point when it's in there? It's pulse DC, which is a total different thing in the way that it breaks things out. It's just a pulse signal of energy. Is all you have that goes in there, and it excites a magnetic value inside of the spindle. That's it. That's what's going on there. So that's why I call it magnetic and not negative, because negative would imply that you can run it back to a DC system, and it's not possible. And it's not a grounding, so it's not negative in that way either. It's a magnetic field. The waveform is a sine wave. There's no disputing that. Anything that comes out once it gets pulsed is a sine wave. That's it. Once you pulse something, it's a sine wave. It doesn't build out as a square wave, so it wouldn't be DC either way. But a sine wave is not necessarily AC. So just got to understand that. I mean, think about it this way. You think that the high voltage cap that goes through a taser is AC, and yeah, it has a sine wave. That's not AC. And you go, well, why is that? Well, because if you could bring down the frequency of it, you still couldn't run it into your AC appliances. You just blow them up. They call it a dirty AC, which means it's unregulated AC, which means you'd have to convert back to DC and then convert back to AC in order to make it a regulated AC, which we normally understand in our power systems. That's why it's different. That's why I call it high voltage potential versus AC, because it's like a wild AC that will not work in any of your AC components. They'll just blow them up. Yeah, sorry. I go over that stuff because you get the misunderstanding from people all the time, and then when you go to write math based on that, you have a misunderstanding of what's going on. Really messes with people. So let's put it this way. If you take the hot wire from your AC in the wall and you went over to that core, right? So you took this little core here on the top, and you take this bobbin and you run your hot wire to that, right? And just wrap it around there and cap the top. It will not produce the field you're looking for to turn that thing on. You say, but Nathan, it's got a sine wave and it goes back and forth and back and forth. Well, it won't turn it on. You say, but it's pulsed. Well, not really. Not in the way you may think it is. Not in the way that DC would pulse it. And that's what you really need. So it won't even get the thing started at all. So just so you know, I've tried it. I thought, hey, I don't have this today. Let me try that. Didn't work. Not at all. Tried several times. Didn't work. Any of the outputs that you get from any one of these flybacks does not have a diode on it. Not in the way you think it does. The DC flyback has layers of high voltage capacitance around it that acts like a diode, but it's not a diode in the conventional sense that you would think it's this little black diode. They don't; those don't exist in there. I'm about a halfway of rectification. Yeah, you try all you want. It doesn't quite work in there. Even when you say, "Oh my God, I'm going to go AC in the bottom of the DC flyback," well, not really, because at that point you'd be using the parts from a fluorescent light bulb assembly, and all they do is switch AC to DC. There's a full bridge rectifier in there that switches the AC to the DC, and then you can run there through the ballast is what it is, and that's the way it works. There's a lot of that going on in there that you don't necessarily see. They've gotten so good at hiding these full bridge rectifiers, man, that you barely find them sometimes. But they're in there, and they convert it. So usually what they say is AC on the outside, it's actually DC on the inside. So your AC compressor is the same way. You say, well, How do you know that? Because the motor in it is a BLDC, brushless DC, that operates it, but it converts the AC to DC and then runs the brushless motor that's in there. That's in your air conditioning system all day long. They should just ran DC, would have been easier. But it's there. Your everyday appliances, all your motors inside are DC. They use the full bridge rectifier, and you'll find a transformer that's in there. And that transformer brings down the energy in there so that you can run DC systems on it. It's not AC that's running that motor. It's DC. And it's a conversion. So, yeah, it's kind of a misunderstanding. When you start taking things apart, it becomes very apparent what you have. So some things are better than others, but generally everything in there is DC. So I give you a heads up on my other channel. I was doing some testing, and I'll bring that up real quick. I want to show you, because we had some stuff in here, man, that didn't quite work out the way it should. And let me pull that up here for you. I should probably pull up the other one first. I'll just show them all. There we go. Generator out, have a power source, and we have a trigger switch. That's all we're going to need along with the Rodin coil in order to do this. We're going to try to spin that magnet in that Rodin coil. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the parts here, and let's see what we need and why we need it. Go right over here is our frequency generator. We can see right now that we're on a square wave, 8.50 hertz, and we're at about a 90% duty cycle on that. We're only at 4.69 volts. That doesn't take very much to activate that. Now here's the trigger switch right here. So what is this doing? These two wires come in from our frequency generator. These two wires here come in from our power source. So these two right here. So you have a positive and negative. And then we have two wires that go off to our Rodin coil. And as we can see, we're only using 2 out of the 4 here. So we're only using 1/2 of the coil in order to get this done. Now, the idea here is this trigger switch, very simple, cost $8 at Amazon or less. It takes the frequency here and puts it into the power source. So the power source comes in, the frequency gets attached to it, and then it goes back out to the coil here itself. Now, we just have a couple of tape rolls in there in order to help us get started in this process. We're going to set that in there at an angle. As you can see, it's already starting to adjust to it. Sometimes these things are finicky, so you have to keep messing with it until you get it right. As we can see, we're already rotating the magnet there. I came off a little bit. Has to be at a real good angle to get this thing going. So we're going to run it real good here. Most of the time, this is what you're going to get out of it. But when you get it in the right place, it syncs up. So what are we trying to do here? As the energy passes through each one of these coils, it hits this thing in a square wave. So it's a magnet in there. The magnet's about 3/4 of an inch. And you can see right there, it's starting to spin again. And then it goes back. Finicky little guy. Sometimes you get it in there and it works perfect, sometimes it doesn't. But the trick to all this is this piece right here. This makes our life so much easier while working on this. If I were you, I would get one for sure.
And then your frequency generator, you can buy a cheap, $5-10 one at Amazon. It works just fine the same way. And then your power source. You don't need very much power here. But you can see the result. It works pretty good. We'll go ahead and get this thing tuned up real quick. And
Okay. So just so we understand what's going on there, man, this thing is very low frequency and it's very low amount of power going to it. And the reason is the Rodin coil's like interwoven. And when you get a lot of magnetics going on in there, they tend to cancel each other out. And what you get is the magnet doesn't move. As soon as you do this, the magnet, it won't move. It'll start doing this. But when you get it right, the thing just spins like crazy as long as you want it to. So the frequency has to be really low. And with every coil system you find, the frequency low like that, you're going to get that magnetic value. Okay. And that's what it's going to do. It's going to run pretty easy. That's like a party trick, man. At this point, I could do it with any coil that I have here in the garage. Not a problem. So, matter of fact, I ran the magnet in a potato once and spun it like a little eyeball. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, man. But yeah, you didn't need it. I had a bifilar coil underneath it and just put it inside of a potato, put some soap in there, and it like spun around like an eyeball. It was pretty cool. I think I'll show the video here in a minute once I get done showing this. I just want to show you what I'm up to on the other channel so you see it. Now, this one here is a little bit different. So here's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to set it up because I want to see losses in a system. And when you know the loss value, then you can find the real value of how something works. Okay. So you look at it right here, you see the two lights that look equal, right? You think, hey, we're all good. The left is a control. It goes from the power source to the positive and negative. The other one goes through the Rodin coil into the light. So we'll take a look at it.
okay, this is the first test of the Rodin coil with a Joule thief circuit with no resistance in it. On the left is our control, which basically means the positive and negative go straight to the power source. On the right is the Rodin coil with the circuit attached to it. We are in DC voltage, 3.84 volts, so we're in milliamps as well. So I'll let you decide which one's brighter or if they're the same. To me right now, they're looking like the same. Before I looked at it, it looked like the control was brighter. At this point, when I'm looking at it, I don't see much of a difference. So we'll get in a little closer so that we can take a look. And we'll see real quick. There's your voltage right there, 3.84. I'll try to get right down on this. Right now, they're about the same. So you can let me know in the comments if you think something's different. But right now, I'm not seeing much of a difference.
So that one right there. So that one right there, man, there's not much of a difference. And this is where it gets into it because you have to run a load test on these things to see why they're doing things. And I'll show the potato here in a minute, but I want to finish this thing out and then I'll show the potato. You'll love the potato test. And I'm not talking about that fake egg, stupid thing that they showed on the guy with the bug eyes. A
Rodin coil back out today, and we're going to do some experimentation on this thing. We're going to first look and see if the coil itself has any losses going on in it. So we'll set this up right here where you can see it. There we go. Now here's what's going on. We have these two right here are connected together. They're positive. They go into the positive terminal.
So yeah, I don't have a battery load device on this. We're just going to use a fan and a motor to check the load.
Here's the negative terminal right here. So there's one to each side. So there's an A and B side. So it's A side and B side. And all we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this and we're going to put the energy in. I'm going to put it on the negative because we're in DC. And we are at 5.20. You see that right there, 5.20. It's on the negative. It's on that side. So we have 5.3. We have 5.3. And if I hook it to the positive, we have 5.3. So what is that telling us? Basically, no losses to the coil right now. We're doing good. So we're going to start doing some load testing on this. Again, the way you think about this, we're in DC, so we're going to go right to the positive. So that'd be our positive. This is going to be our negative. There we go. Fan's operating. We're doing good. It's a 24 volt fan, so we should be able to get it up there. All right, we're going to bring back our meter. And I simply want to know if we're losing energy. 10.8, that's what I'm reading coming in. $10.8 going in. $10.6, we're looking good. 10.8. You see that little bit of a drop. $10.6, 10.8. One has a load upon it, the other one does not. This is going to be one of those things we're going to have to look into a little bit more as we get into load. What I'm seeing already is there's a drop when we go through the coil and we go in here and you say, well, it's point something that's not much. Well, you're probably right. Okay, we got out a little gravity flyer here. It's not important that it's a gravity flyer. It's important that there's a DC motor in it, and we're going to see that disc on the top spin. Now we have it hooked up here. Again, the positive goes in here, comes through here, breaks on the negative through here, just a DC system. So at 17.6 volts, we're going through it. Okay. Put it down so it doesn't vibrate off the table. How about right there? We're at 11.9. So let's start checking this. Okay. $11.8. Okay, so we're fairly accurate. $2.3. So that's bad. 11.8. So I just want to point out in this, we have 2 wires going in right here. Before we get crazy and think we're adding voltage, because we're not, each one of these wires is putting out 11.8. 11.8, 11.8 goes to coil side A, coil side B, both get it. Don't get confused and think it goes to 24 volts because it doesn't. It's only 11.9 going through each of them. One channel has a load on it. The other channel does not. So that's what we're focusing on right now. So coming out of the power source here, we can see we got 11.8. But when we put a load on it, 2.2. Now we'll go with the one with no load. 11.7.
So as you can see, that Rodin coil is not hanging. So what was going on? Well, there's no magnetic core in there. It's all open air. So what you get out of it is something with a very, very poor backbone to it. It's not, has no cushion to push itself against you in order to break it. It has no push to it. The push is gone. You got to remember those wires themselves are 25 foot long and there's 22 of them in there. So you have to travel at least, you know what I mean, half of that just to get through one side of it. And then the other half to get to the other. It doesn't make it very good in DC. I'll just tell you this right now. We'll hook up the regular control and check it, but DC for this thing is just no good. Not on this. A great to spin magnet's not so good on this.
Okay. So we'll stop this right here. Now we'll change this. I'll take the positive out of this, and I'm going to straight connect it. So I'm going to take the Rodin coil out, and now we're just hooking positive to negative here, and this is just a DC motor flow. Now, I'm at 6 volts right here. That's at 10. So we'll just go up to about 5 volts on this, or like 4 volts, because I can already tell you the power difference is much different from going through the coil than it is right here. Now I'm smoking a cable. Oh, just a bad cable. All right, here we go.
So we'll just stop it right there. Look, the answer to this test is very simple. Once you put a load on it in very small amounts, use little tiny motors that are, less than, AA battery to turn on, you don't notice the difference between one side and the next, between a Rodin coil and control. You wouldn't really notice the difference. But when you put a real load on it like those motors are, it can't handle it. There's no way. You have to break it somehow in order to change it. And I put caps on it, put diodes on it. It just doesn't work. You need that Rodin coil to be a core. There's too much length of wire, too much energy dissipated. And when you put a load on it, it can't handle the resistance of the load. So thing just terrible. It doesn't work that way. We'll put it in AC, so a sine wave, and see if it does any better on the next couple tests. But as far as DC in it to run anything else, even to do lights, it's pretty awful. So, but it's important to go through this way. And I'll just say this: it looks like failure after failure, okay, or some success with rotating magnets, but what it is you check individual things on it. You go back and you put circuits in it and recheck it. Now at least I know how bad it is. Okay. So once I figure out how bad something is, now I can start to regulate good things into it that I know will help and that I know will bring the system forward. So we'll do the same thing when we go through the sine wave portion of it. They say they ran this thing on a stereo receiver. I have one and I have it available to run it on. So I'll be doing that test on it. We'll get some light bulbs, some LEDs, and we'll check, see how bright they are. But we're going to keep going through this Rodin coil on that channel, and we're going to figure out every little trick it has and see exactly what it's good for. I don't have a dog in this race, man. I just want to do the things, and then when people suggest them on there, I'll try it in order to improve it. But you can't lie about a system. You just got to go through it and check it. And that's about what I'm going to do there. So I want to show you this. Okay, so we'll stop showing that. That's on my other channel, by the way. And let me give you the... Here we go. I'll put it right in the description. There you go. There's the address for the other channel. If you guys want to watch that investigation, go on there. Special coil with the Rodin coil style. Well, it depends. So if she's using a geometry coil, they're different than a Rodin coil. Well, look, Rodin built the coil so that it matches the energy pattern that goes on inside of a geometry coil. That's what he was doing. And when you do that, it's the wrong way to do it. You should have just built the geometry coil in order to do it. Some people build star coils, things like that, which is a geometry coil, to build out that. And the energy pattern builds out in the way that the Rodin coil looks. It's a misunderstanding of energy and how it works. The math may work a little bit. I don't know. I didn't check it. But I'll tell you what, the energy going through doesn't lie. So there's the channel right there. If you guys wanted to check that out, by all means, we're doing the Rodin coil investigation, and you'll get all the answers, man. I'm not going to lie about it. It just is what it is. Every time we run something through it, every time we go back and look at somebody and the way they set it up, I'll do it. So that's that. Okay, let's get to the fun part here. We're going to have a little fun with this one. Because we can spin a magnetic field inside of a potato with a little bit of soap in there, and using a bifilar coil. Mind want to know, can you get it to spin inside of a potato? Well, yeah, if you put enough lube in it. Look at that. Oh, free balling. Inquiring minds want to know, can you get it to spin inside? Yeah, you can get that thing to spin in a potato. And it's because of the magnetic field and you got a magnet. It's just fun to do. It's like somebody's fake eyeball in there or something, man, isn't it? It kind of creeps you out. Huh. Oh. To the Rav spinning in a potato with a magnet. I don't know if that's possible. Anyway, I wanted to show you that, man. I love messing with people's minds and playing with food and stuff like that when I do experiments. I mean, energy flows through a lot of different things, and if you know how to work the energy, you put it through just about anything. So, paint it like an eyeball. That'd be good. Nice. Yeah, I should do that. So when you do the spinning magnet trick, you know what I mean? You could do it in every coil and check it out. Right on, man. Thank you. Yeah, I like those little fun experiments too, man. You kind of get bored doing the same thing, investigating something. You got to go around and try something like that. Oh, yeah, Halloween is around the corner, man. Oh, I should hook up my Tesla coils with some Halloween stuff. That'd be awesome. Nice. Yeah, you could learn a lot of stuff from silly stuff. That's absolutely true. Yeah, just put an STL on top of a testicle. Love it, man. Yeah, I just put a little fountain out there, man. Run my testicle on top of it. You know what I mean? And put the rod down in the water, and then I'll just have light bulbs out there just hanging on the side of it, and they'll be lit up. And see if people can figure it out. To hide the testicle. You know what I mean? Oh, that'd be great. That'll mess with people's minds all day. Love doing that. Yeah, cool stuff, man. So, yeah, pretty soon I'm just waiting for my check to come in from YouTube, man. As soon as it gets here, I'll have some more money for some coil wire, and I got one side of it, and I didn't have enough for the second side to wind the geometry coil I want to wind. So as soon as I get that, man, that'll be on that channel. What I'll do is there's a sequence in which you wind it with, and I'm going to see if I can't show you the printing of it. Like I'll show you the CAD version, how I run through and look for the winding pattern. Then I'll write down the pattern for you, and then we'll wind to that pattern, and then we'll test it. I think that's the best way to go. And I'll try to put it maybe within one video, maybe it'll be 2 videos on there. But I think that's the way we'll do it from here on in. Any wind that we do, we'll test that way. And we'll immediately see if they work or not. And we'll just go layer by layer in each one and see where the cancellation is and where it's not. And that's it. We'll just do an investigation on it, man. Just like we do the Rodin coil. We got to investigate. So we'll get those done, make some beautiful looking coils. I'm going to put little connectors on them so we can hook them to the wall when we're done and pull them off when we need to. But I think that's the way to go. It's kind of tight right now, man. Everybody's kind of out of money right now, man, because the economy kind of sucks. I mean, it's not going crazy or nothing and, fluctuating, but it's still $100 worth of groceries isn't anything, man. It's like a bag or 2 of groceries at the grocery store. It sucks. It really sucks. I mean, I can't tell you how much my wife has been bitching at me about how much things cost. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. Oh my God, you're eating this. And then it's like, for God's sakes, man. I didn't make the prices at the store. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we make it, you get by, yeah. So funny, man. So bad. The economy hasn't recovered. They screwed it up about 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 now. And when they did that, well, I don't think people understand how the inflation works. So what happens is they set a new value for everything. So when it goes up, it doesn't always come all the way back down. It's not how it works. It'll go up and stay there, and then it'll come back down a little bit, right? So you get a little bit of retraction, think you're doing all right. But in this economy you're seeing, it's come down a little bit to get the little retraction, but it hasn't gone all the way down. It's just stayed up here. And that's going to be the new norm. Well, no matter what anybody says, that's the new norm now. And that can be seen in your car prices, right? You went down there, you paid $30,000 for a vehicle maybe 5-6 years ago. You go down there now and they want like $60,000-$70,000 for a vehicle. You go for a truck and it's like $100,000. It's like, dude, I'll never pay you $100,000 for one of those trucks. I bought my house for less than that. Why would I pay you that much for a truck? I mean, I was, balking at the idea when I spent 50 on mine, but I wouldn't pay 100 grand for that truck. No chance. So the economy's at a new norm on where the prices are. And now you have to raise minimum wages to get there. And California already did that, but most of the other states haven't. And you listen to some of these stupid politicians out there talking about, oh, I'll give you every BS reason in the world not to raise your minimum wage so that the economy runs better. Well, hey, look, your idea doesn't put food on my table. Okay. So you better fix it in order for that to happen. So you'll see a price increase on your wages coming soon, or else the economy will go to crap. Sorry. That's the way that it works. That's why you have two parties in government and they work in tandem and one back and forth to the other. So yeah, economy sucks right now. It really does. And I don't know why they can't figure this one out. When you pay a higher amount for diesel, guess what? That's where all your transport for all your food comes from. So when you look at diesel prices the same way you look at gasoline prices, and that's your economy, you've ruined the economy. Just so we understand each other, you ruined it. Why? Because you tripled the value that it takes to get goods to the store. And once you did that, you ruined the economy. And they did this back in the 90s, and they never fixed it since. And yeah, we've all been paying for that stupidity. Yeah. Yeah, I'm there with you. Just fix it. I mean, I bought a diesel when it was 99 cents a gallon, if you think about it that way. And now in California, we're getting close to $6 a gallon. It's ridiculous. And I know I'm paying, an extra dollar or two for every vegetable I get because of that gasoline price. And they won't do anything about it. So, yeah, you inflate it, you earn it. So we went through this back in the 80s when they did it. And now we're going through it in the 90s. And there's not a third person in the household to bring up the income. Sorry. So, yeah, they're going to have to get it going, man, and fix it. Sorry. Perpetual motion is real. I agree with that. I've seen it. I've absolutely seen it. And I should put that up in the post that I put out. I'll find the one that I've seen, and it runs forever. So some of these things, man, it's just about doing the math to figure them out. I saw at an alternator, I've seen somebody on one of those little short videos, and they cut out part of their bumper and they added an alternator, and on their wheel they added a sprocket, and they put the thing over there so they could run an alternator in order to charge their electric car. I thought that was hilarious, man. Oh yeah, don't buy an EV. Not worth it. Those things are junk. You say, okay, you're going to use the first 100,000 miles in it, and guess what? Now it's $12,000 battery replacement. You go, well, I could have bought a motor, a transmission, and a rear end for that cost for my other car. So yeah, they're not really worth it after they get past the mileage. They're pretty much kind of like Japan's motor vehicle economy. Once they get to a certain mileage, that motor's gone. They can't use it. Anything that rusts or anything like that, those vehicles all get pulled off the street. They're not allowed there. So it's kind of the same way, but it's useless, and they're going to make a lot of bad stuff. So in the next 15, 20 years, we'll be dealing with the price consequences of EVs. And it's not worth it. I'd love to have one, you know what I mean? But I won't pay the battery cost. There's no way. So, harvesting, you can collect positive gains. Yeah, sometimes, depending on the system you're working in. Maxwell works for me. No charging. Nice. Yeah, take away the rusty S10s, man. I'm kind of partial to the old 70s style Chevy truck. You know what I mean? I don't like the way the rear ends built in them and the stuff like that, but the actual look of them, those are pretty cool, man. Those are awesome. So the S10's a little guy, man. I had a couple of those. I took an S10 one, the short bed on it, and I put a 6-inch body lift on it, and it had a stick shift. So the thing used to be up here and it went way down to the ground, and I put 35s on it. So this thing's way up in the air, right? And it went slow as hell down the freeway because it had a little four banger in it. But it was just funny to do, man. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, you don't ever want to do a body lift. Yeah, it's right. The 70s is right before the square body. The like the 71. When you get to 73 and stuff, it's all square body. Yeah. I was looking at the, you know what I mean, 69, 70, 71, and they have the, what is it, a C10 in there is a category. Those are pretty cool, man. The square bodies are awesome. The 4x, I had one of those. 74 4x, man, was just a way awesome truck. Go up anything. Or we just have hydrogen. Well, because they took out the guy that made the car. As soon as the guy made the hydrogen car over there, the water car, Myers, they killed him. So that's why we don't have that. Or else that would be one of the most efficient ways to do it because it's on demand hydrogen, not in a tank hydrogen. Much different. You got an 05 Blazer? Nice. Old school, man. Well, 05's not that old, but yeah. I'm there with you. I got an 04 Dodge Cummings with 4 doors and long bed on it. So that thing's pretty rocking, man. It gets you where you need to go. I don't know if steam's easier, to be honest with you. There you go. 67 C10 black. That's awesome truck. Get a little bit low, get a little bit dirty. Yeah, I'm there with you. 2020 Land Cruiser, man. Right on. Yeah, I drive my old truck, man. I paid it off years ago. I'd love to have some kind of economy vehicle right now, but there's no way. There's no value in the used car market right now. It's absolutely junk. And I don't know how they did this, but they got the used car value down to almost nothing. New car values through the roof. And it's people playing with numbers in there, man, making this stuff. They're trying to make your trade in suck while you have to take out a second mortgage just to buy a vehicle. It doesn't make any sense in the world. Somebody's manipulating that market, and it's going to backfire because car lots are not going to be able to afford it. They're not going to make their money because people just can't afford to buy their vehicles. Hmm. Well, we'll stay away from those things right there. There you go. Dodge Ram. My father-in-law had a 1500, man. He had a little stick shift in there. Thing lasts forever. He also had one of those little Toyotas, those little single cabs back in was it the early 90s? Those things, man, great gas mileage. But they putt around all the time, man. And I still see them out on the road. So yeah, some of these vehicles aren't worth owning, man. I'll be honest with you. You got a Suzuki right there. Suzuki 4x4. Nice. Hey, when you live out in the sticks there, Darren, you got to have a 4x4. You got to have a little fun once in a while. Nice. Huh. Yeah. I sold my 72 Chevy Nova, man. It was what, the 5th Nova I owned. I had 5 Camaros, a couple El Caminos, like I said, a bunch of Novas, a bunch of trucks. I used to take them when I was a kid. My dad had a 2,500 square foot shop in the backyard, and I'll haul them in there, tear them down, man, do all the body work on them, fix up all the firewalls, paint them, redo everything, man. Take that 350 out, paint it, and just get it looking beautiful, man. Put a bunch of chrome in there under the hood. And then, you know what I mean? Like I said, work the body, get that done, go down to the upholstery guy, get new seats done, and then, drive them for a while and then sell them off and, make good money and put it into the next one. I did that for quite a while, actually. It was a nice little fun thing to do when you're young. You have the energy for it. I don't even know where to start now. I'd get out there and go, well, I can tune your motor, but past that, I ain't touching your car, man. And I won't work on a new car. Those things are, I got gorilla mitts here that don't allow me to get my hands in there. There's no way. Oh, man, is it the charger? Huh. Oh, wow. That sucks. Well, that really sucks. I don't like it when projects you can't afford to fix them and sell them off. I had to do that a couple times, man. That really sucks. EV muscle cars soon. Well, if they're 4-wheel drive electric cars, they do pretty good on the road, man. They're pretty fast. So that front wheel drive grips them real good, but they need a little bit of rear wheel drive. So the four wheels on them, man, that one's good. Oh yeah, a Dodge Ram Charger 4x4. I'm thinking you got a Dodge Ram, a Dodge Charger. The long Charger, Dukes of Hazzard style. Yeah, you got a 4x4, man, with a Ram Charger on it. Got it. A little bit different. Yeah, I got to the point, man, where I just said forget it in upgrading my vehicles as they were, because it just cost me money, and then smog problems in California. It's not really worth it anymore. Besides, I don't go very many places, man. I go walk every day, and then I go hang out with grandkids and stuff. So, and then not my kids haven't picked up wrenches, man, like I did. So they don't build much. So maybe that's good. Stay out of the trouble I was in. Yeah, burnouts, man. Oh man, I remember you taking that thing, you throw it in neutral, man, and then you slam it into gear, break the crap out of your transmission. But it was fun to just, light up a 9-inch Ford rear end, man. Just wah! Yeah. There's a better ways to do it, man. But I think I went through 2 trannies doing that. Yeah. Limited slip sucks, by the way, in the Chevys. Yeah, you don't want that. You want that Ford 9-inch in there. Fixed up a 30-year-old boat. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I like old boats, man. I like the what is it, Chris Craft, the wooden ones. Those are pretty slick, man. I had me a boat a while back, and you go out to the lake and river a couple times, and then I just lost interest. Yeah, I'm there with you, man. Race cars, the track, getting out there, and just the smell of the smoky tires, man. Just that burnt rubber. Yeah. Yeah, I'm there with you. There was a guy down the street from my house when I grew up. He had an engine shop, man. You go over there, and he had all the cool parts, and you know what I mean? You can go over there and check them all out and everything. And the guy was really cool about showing you everything. Those are the old timers I like, man. You know, they have all the cool stuff, and they show you exactly what's going on. They teach you about the engines and stuff. We don't have that now. Now it's all computerized. So you may get a crash course on how to change your computer or something, but it's not the same. You don't learn the same way. So yeah. Some of these cars are better than others, I'll tell you that. Oh, there's a guy up in Canada that took the Chevy 350, and he basically made a mold of it, and inside he put electric motors in there so that it would look like a Chevy 350, but it was an electric motor. I was interested in that, man, but the guy never got into a production mode with it where you could get one. He had them out there, a couple of them for his vehicles, but he wasn't really mass producing them at the time. And then Chevy comes out with their EV, and you open the hood and you just want to barf. It just looks ugly. So they should have taken a cue from the other guy and made it look like an old school 350, and it would have been awesome looking. Then people, you know what I mean? The secondary market, the chrome, all that, they're not really that anymore. Yeah. Well, I stopped building most of the cars myself, man. They cost a lot of money. Yep. We went from hydrogen with Stanley Myers to fixing cars. You're right. And people just can't figure out, what he was doing. It's not that hard. I mean, you're ionizing the energy, and then you're splitting the what do I want to say? You're basically splitting everything apart and then putting it back together, and that's where all the energy is. I don't think people very much understand that. They think it's just a hydrogen process. It's not. It's the spinning of the molecules and the combining of the molecules is where the energy's at. Running just the gas portion of it is very weak. So he had his injectors directly into the motor's combustion chamber. So he split the energy right there. Nice. Yeah. The energy's in when you break it. Yeah, it's not necessarily the hydrogen production you're looking for. I mean, that was kind of the thing. Hydrogen's nice, man. It's kind of like running an old school carburetor. You don't necessarily need the fuel itself. You need the fumes, is what you really need. You need that gas to be not in a liquid state. You need it to be in a gas state. You know what I'm trying to say there. It's like taking the old trick of your lawnmower, go over to your fuel tank, poke a hole in it, put in a little piece, run it to your carburetor, and the fumes alone will run that thing. You don't need the gasoline itself in the liquid form that just causes problems in your engine. You want to run the actual gas itself, the gas form of it. You want the vapors, and you get a condensed vapor, man, and that thing runs like crazy. So yeah, that's what you want to do. I mean, there was a guy that built, a carburetor to 100 miles a gallon because he understood the vapor state. And then now we start to get into that and start using it. We put all these turbos and stuff in there. We're just moving air and gas through this thing. I mean, it's not terribly difficult. Once you get into any kind of fuel, it causes a problem. I was watching a thing the other day where a cool show on a guy that grinds cams and stuff, and he was talking about how this guy was taking a piston, and on the skirt of the piston they were carving it out in order to make more power. And I was looking at it, I go, well, that's just kind of stupid, isn't it? The bottom of the piston on the skirt is just basically oil control on your cylinder walls. Your business end of it is the top of the piston where the combustion is. So why you would even mess with the skirt is beyond me. I wouldn't do it. They're a waste of my time. You know what I mean? You basically want to just take the top of the piston and you want to get it as high as you can into the valve area and to get as much compression as you possibly can. That's the answer there. Why you'd fool with the bottom of a piston is beyond me. But whatever. It was nice to watch. It was a great show, though. A really, really outstanding guy. Took his time, go through it. Wasn't mad about it. Just, hey, this is kind of the way it is. Like old school craftsmen used to tell you how to do things all the time, man. Hey, this is just the way it is. You have a misunderstanding of what's going on, and let's just get to it, and we're good to go. It's your birthday, Aaron? Well, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday, man. I'm glad you're listening to the show, man. Happy birthday. Yeah, removing rotating weights. Yeah. Back in. Yeah, you want the raised pistons, man, if you're going to get a lot of compression in there. I mean, the only thing you got to worry about is when the valves open and close to make sure you don't bend them. Then you're good to go. Right on, brother. There you go. Right on, man. Right on. Everybody saying happy birthday, brother. Right on. Yeah, I love old cars, man. I really do. I wish I could still work on them. I just can't. Right on. Yeah, I got a ton of tools for that stuff too, man. Whole bunch of torque wrenches, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You buy a lot of stuff over the years, man. And you want to pass it down to your kids. Hopefully they'll start working on this stuff. But the kids these days, they got the little cell phones and stuff and not really interested in, cars the way we are. And then one of my sons is, and he's got a little, small car. These new how do I say it? So to say the correct term here, these little road racer cars you see on the street racers, or not just a bunch of foreign cars out there racing it up, which is cool, kind of like Fast and Furious, if you know what I mean. And then they dangle little things from their bumpers and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to go out there, man, in my old school Camaro and just rip them apart. But they get them pretty fast and stuff. But they sound like a bunch of fart cans going down the road. Yeah, tuners. There you go. Yeah, it just sounds like a bunch of fart cans, man. And then they don't get the timing right in their vehicle, so they sound like crap and start backfiring and popping all the time. And it's like, man, if you're gonna tune that thing, tune it right. And then if you're gonna run something in there into your gasoline or anything like that, that's gonna get into your cylinders because you didn't tune it right. And then good luck getting your oil changed from somebody, because then it's going to smell like fuel and they don't want it. Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake. So you got a bunch of unused fuel in there because you didn't set up your combustion chamber right. That's why it backfires and farts on you all day. And then I got to sit in traffic behind you and smell that garbage. Yeah, they should tune them a little better. They pay for that too. Yeah. Yeah, they pay for that. The waste, the pre-combustion or post-combustion. Yeah, that's funny. Little fart cans. I had 3-inch exhaust on my Nova, and it was short dumpers, man. So it dumped right before the rear end, and man, that thing sounded like a NASCAR engine. It was just loud as hell. Right on, brother. Yeah, I love diesels myself. I got that Cummings. They're powerful. Less maintenance too. There you go. Happy birthday. Huh. Yeah. If I didn't understand the law as well as I did now, I would get out there and do it. But I have no interest in sitting in a jail cell. I'll tell you that. So I just keep those urges to myself, if you know what I mean. Huh. Yeah, the EV smells good. Huh. Those things. They talk about not enough power stations, but I live in California. Trust me, there's enough power stations out here. I think if you did it like one every out of every 5 vehicles is a Tesla out here, and that's in the rural area of California. When you get over to the big cities, it's even higher amount than that. That ride all the Tesla EVs. They're all over the place out there, man. You can't get away from those things. Yeah, we one of my last motor, man, it had roller rockers in it, man, 202 valves in there. And you get that thing pumped up, man. You go 60 over on the pistons right there. You get better than a 10 or 11 to half to 1 compression on it, man. You put some real power into these things where you have to kind of get a better transmission and spend some more money. Make sure you have the forward 9-inch on the backside of it. And man, just run the daylights out of those things, man. It used to be the coolest thing, man. You'd you take a 327 crankshaft, throw it in a 350, make it a stroker. So yeah, the whole cool stuff, man. They don't really do that a whole lot anymore. There's a couple cool car guys out there that still do that stuff, man. Some cool designs that are going on. Some of the times, man, they're all LS ones now. They put those new motors in there so that they can get drivability on the street. Yeah, where are all the carbon credits? That whole system was a lie. We all know that. Hmm. Yeah. Carbon credits were a lie from the beginning. It's just another way to tax people. Just another way to tax people. That was all those things were. We can legally tax you more money. It's like out here in California, we had all the smog shops out here. What are they? Just another way to legally get more money from you and then get more tax revenue for another business. You think about it, now you go in there, what do? They hook it to the computer of your car, and the computer of your car tells them whether it passes or not. They don't even put the thing in the tailpipe anymore. They don't even bother. So what was the point? Why are we paying the fee still? There's no reason to pay it if you're just going to go based on what my computer says. And the damn thing won't run if it's out of sync. So you got to bring it into a mechanic anyway to get that fixed. There's no use for a smog law out here anymore. There's just none. I hope the federal government gets in there and takes all that crap out. And they keep changing it. It used to be, anything past a certain year, you get this thing, registered without having to go through smog. God knows your old school 72 350 ain't going to go through that smog thing. There's no smog equipment on that at this point. There's no junker crap there. So, yeah, it was ridiculous, man. Then they changed the law again because Gavin Newsom's a moron. And are all about carbon credits. They wouldn't know what carbon was if you paid them. They're running around putting corks in the butts of cows. They're stupid. These people are stupid. And then some of the people that go around like that Thornburg chick, she's stupid as well. She don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Yeah, there's no reason for a smog test. Go over there and check your computer and get a smog test. Well, dude, your computer talks to the actual company that made it and tells them when your smog's bad. And then you get a big error code across there. What the hell do we need a smog station for? Yeah, you pay carbon credits are a joke, man. Where does the money go? Once you give the money for the credit, where does the money go? You see, that's the thing. It didn't go to fixing something in the environment. It went into the tax fund. So where does the money go? You get what I'm trying to say here? There's no reason to have it. Somebody has found another way to take your money. Yeah, there you go, simple man. I agree with you there. Taxes is a scam. Of course it's a scam. Any way they can take another dollar from you, it's a scam. Yeah, you're saving the world's climate. You ain't got enough problems in your vehicle to ruin this climate. Sorry. That's our ego talking. Now, pulling the oil out of the ground, to be honest with you, would ruin our economy. Excuse me, it ruined the environment more than anything. Okay. You can't take something that nullifies energy out of the ground and then wonder why you have holes in the ozone. I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. You know why you did it. And when you filled in salt water, you were full of, you know what? So That's the problem here. It's not running the vehicles. Vehicles are almost nothing, man. Though I do like the clean air now instead of the smog back in the 80s. You go to some of these cities and they're horrible. Yeah, population control. There's no. That's rich people talking. That's rich people talking. That's all they talk about. Population control. Population control. Well, I got an idea for you. We'll fix population control. Why don't you put your nuts on this table right here? I get my axe, and we can have population control. That's what we do. Just take all the rich people, and we'll get some population control that way. There you go. You want to be so excited about it, then let's fix the problem. Oh, you didn't want to do that? It wasn't acceptable to you? No, that's how I solve it. I don't need population control. You do. So we'll solve it your way and take away your ability to make more population. That works for me. You have no right to talk about me and my family. You would talk about you and yours. So, yeah, well, we can use a rusty hacksaw if it makes you feel better. We'll save the environment by not getting a brand new tool. How's that for you? There you go. Population of elitist control. That's exactly what we need. Yeah. No, dude, there's some rich people out there we really don't need to hear from anymore. You know what I mean? They should just shut their mouth and move on. You know, I don't need those people out there. I mean, they go over and they make fun of country songs and stuff all the time when you go and you look at these hosts on the talk shows or whatever. It's like, dude, who do you think takes care of your country? Who do you think volunteers for the country and their armed services? The people listening to those things. And you're over here with your elitist attitude making fun of them. I mean, for God's sakes, man, grow up. Learn who does what in this country because your high fluting ass ain't getting out there in that ditch. So you know what? If you ain't got nothing good to say, shut your fucking mouth. So yeah, I don't care for those people at all, man. I just don't. Sorry. Yeah, if you're cool and down to earth or something, cool. You want to get those elitist ideas? Hey, go walk the other way. You and me have nothing to talk about. Yeah, I agree with you there. What a tool. Yeah. Man, that's some unhappy parents, huh? Maybe they are happy. That's even scarier, huh? Ugh. I don't know. My kid turned out like that. That's bad. That is just bad. Yeah. Another system oppresses society. I agree with you there. Now I don't get into the firearms debate, man. Look, we got the Second Amendment. You're allowed to have whatever weapon you want. I'll be honest with you. Any weapon you want. I just think that the gun dealers themselves should control the bullets, if you understand what I'm trying to say there. I don't need a Walmart employee going out there and selling some moron shooting up a city bullets. The people who at gun shops have control, they teach you about gun safety and they do a great job of it. Some of them have shooting ranges there and they know what they're doing. Those people should control who they sell them to, not some, guy barely legal to do it. I just don't see why they would ever do that. You know what I mean? But as far as guns, man, have attitude. I don't really care. You have the right to do it. What's going on, Tim Tron? What's up, brother? Yeah. I don't get into that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. Who are you going to trust? The guy at Walmart selling you something or the guy at the gun shop? Because the guy at these gun shops, he's a squirrely kid. He ain't giving them nothing. Nothing. He'll make you jump through every hoop twice. But you get over to, some of these people working 9 to 5s, they don't care. Yeah. That's my rant about that, man. I don't get too far into that debate. People can do what they're going to do. I found, to be honest with you never have to worry about the ones that register and follow the laws. You got to worry about the morons that don't. Those are the ones you got to worry about. So all of your laws won't do shit to the people who illegally broke them in the first place, and they hold all that stuff. I mean, they don't care. They didn't care about your law in the first place. They don't care about your law afterward. They just don't give a shit. Okay? That's a fact. That's why there's a problem. That's why when you make your law, it should be double the penalty for the people who broke the law in the first place on it. Okay? Those people should go away longer. And then the people who did the right thing and followed all the safety precautions and everything should be left alone. There you go. It doesn't matter how many bullets are in the chamber, you're going to use them all. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. That young lady that was on that rail car, I wish she had, a weapon, or somebody in there did, taking that moron out who did that to her, man. I'll be honest with you. This is why they should have, execution in public for people like that. You don't go over there and stab somebody from behind for no good reason, man. There's no quarrel there. There's no beef there. There's nothing going on there. You did it because you were a piece of shit. And you know what? That kind of piece of shit should never deserve any of our respect whatsoever, or any more time on this earth. Put him in town square, put him in the chair, and I'll pull the damn handle myself. Okay? Those people do not belong in our society. Okay? Sorry. Not once, not ever, ever. Those kind of pieces of trash need to be gone immediately. It's really screwed up. When you see the look on that girl's face, man, it haunts you forever. No one should have that. Man, I have kids. I don't want them in that type of a situation. Think about that. No fucking way, man. No way. If I was on there, man, I don't care if I was their father or not, I would have took that dude out. You wouldn't be doing that. Not when I'm sitting there. I'm old and fat, and I'll get over that seat faster than you can imagine, man. That kid wouldn't be there anymore. That whole situation screwed up. That dude needs death. No, don't even go over there with the preacher. He doesn't deserve it. Okay? Yeah, you take that piece of shit out. Yeah, good Samaritan counts, man. You got to have good people. Society's not full of good people anymore. Just not, man. Never would have happened back in the day like that. Anyway, that's my rant on that, man. I don't like political violence for that. And that whole thing that happened with Charlie Kirk is a disaster. So you didn't agree with the guy, so what? You know what? Get over it. There's no reason to do stuff like that. And then worse is the people out there defending the guy's actions. I'm sorry. You're about a piece of shit too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like those people either. Sorry. I don't get political on my show a whole lot, but this week's been bad, man. It's been bad. There's a lot of piece of shit people out there. And I don't care for them at all. Not at all. You got a problem with somebody? That's great, man. Just walk the other way. Don't watch them. Turn the channel. Okay? People get all wrapped up in this. One of my friends is all wrapped up in this. Ben used to come on the channel all the time. Man's all wrapped up in this stupid thing about political crap. It's like, man, people watch your channel for the science. They don't watch it for this stuff. He doesn't get it. Yeah, ironically, I'm talking about it right now because it's stupid. Senseless violence is stupid, man. I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a prude. You want to go old school and get in the backyard and throw some hands? I'm all for it, man. I'll bring the popcorn. I'll make some hot dogs, whatever, dude. I'll do that all day long. Okay, you won't have a problem here with me. But going further than that is just, it's too much. I don't mind settling it the old school way. It just, it happens between guys, and that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, in the end, you probably have a beer together. You know what I mean? Talk about the fat lips and black eyes you got and get over it. That's what men do. Yeah. Anyway, we get on to some better stuff, man. Oh, sorry. It's been bothering me all week, man. Not happy about it. And I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, man. I'm pretty much a down the middle of the road guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I vote for the best person. I just don't like imbeciles. That's it. Yeah. I happen to live in California full of them. They're all over the place here. Yeah. Try not to go out there with a lot of them. You know what I mean? Whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, we're building out that RAV, man, and it's pretty cool. And we got a lot of cool stuff coming up on it. We're going to be doing a couple other channels here coming up. You know what I mean? Showing it off and things like that. I think it's really awesome. The fact that it's, resonance and stuff like that, man. We're getting into things that get really down to the heart of how things actually work and energy. I think one of the most understood things is resonance. And because they don't understand it, they don't know how to amplify a system. And once we get that figured out, that we could show everybody what it is, I think we're going to get a lot more, just a lot more understanding out there, and things work better. I'll be honest with you, man. All I really want to do at this point in my life is get them back up in space. You know what I mean? Get the people go to the Mars, man. I'd love to go to Mars. Okay. You offer me a trip on a shuttle to go to Mars, I'm taking it. I'll strap that big rocket to my ass and go. Okay. Not a problem here. Okay. I hate heights, to be honest with you. But I'd go on that rocket. Okay. I have no problem going to Mars. Okay. Gotta get one more thing in, you know what I mean, before you move on from this world. And that's kind of one of the things on your bucket list you want to check off. Like, I got to see if there was any pyramids on Mars. You know what I mean? And yeah, the moon and back first. Well, never lost the technology, man. They're just scared of what's out there. And we got this new thing coming through the solar system, man. And they say it's getting real close to Mars now. Every report they come out with, they're getting closer and closer to Mars, changing its trajectory. It appears green. Seems like it's moving like a craft. I don't know, man. Maybe we might have some new neighbor aliens. That'd be cool. My concern is it gets too close to the planet itself and causes messed up the magnetics of the planet and starts having bigger problems. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want that, and I damn sure don't want a collision, because that means we're getting asteroids shot right at us. That's not good. I don't want any part of that. So, yeah, I think this bucket list. But no, man, it's predicted, and everything we've seen is predicted to come through our solar system about this time anyway. I don't know if a lot of people really understand that. Once we passed the Day of the Dead, they were coming. And it's been written down everywhere. And it's kind of cool in the fact that if it is an alien race, hey, maybe we'll meet them. You know what I mean? Maybe it's somebody we don't want to meet, and then you'll get all the population control you want at that point. Because, everybody's going to be happy that some people have some guns at that point. Huh? Yeah, then they'll be really happy. Who knows what it is, man? I just hope whatever it is doesn't mess up our society. And if it forces us to get out in space, then hey, I'm all for it. I think they're gonna just pray that it flies by. I think they're doing the old cross the fingers method. Hey, let's hope this son bitch don't hit us. That's what they're saying. Okay. That's what they're at. They have no idea if it is or not, and they can't control it if it does. We don't have the technology to get there yet. We haven't learned our lessons yet. So no matter what the government's hiding, I don't think they got that. So Library of the Untold. That guy's awesome, brother. Um, that guy, his video on the Coral Castle is worth every subscription you can give to him, man. There's so much information densely packed in that video. It is absolutely insane. So I agree with you, man. Libraries of the Untold, man. That guy's awesome. 100% there with you. So yeah, Joe showed me that channel, man, and I've been watching that thing ever since because he takes his time, he goes through everything and shows you everything. Man, is it awesome! Ring Makers of Saturn. I haven't seen that one. That's a book. Hmm. Let's check that out. Yeah, nice. Yeah, really, really kind of down to earth person too. From what I've seen of every one of his live streams and stuff, I get on there when I can or play him in the background while I'm working. Yeah, he's got a great show. Gerard Morin. Okay, was saying we live in a world. That's your. He did say that a lot. For those of you who don't know who Gerard Morin is, a guy up in Canada who is making. I don't know if it was free energy or if he was showing like a little bit of over unity in it. He definitely had a very cool generator that was aluminum and magnets and a little bit of stainless steel in there. And I absolutely love that one, man. It's one of my first introductions into coming into this space is watching his videos, and I learned a lot from him, man. That guy was really good. I'm actually sad that he's not on YouTube anymore, man. It'd been great to talk to him. Yeah, I think a lot of people out there are still taking those washing machine motors and then connecting them with a little bit of a little motor to get to make them into a generator, and they work great because the actual the washing machine motor, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the core is not a typical core; it's a U-shaped core, and what it does is it has on both sides of it there are winding. So you have two windings like this on the side of a U shape. And when you put it into a generator mode, man, it works really well. So yeah, kind of old school, man. Yeah, I like his rants too, man. I like it when the old timers go on rants, man. I'm sorry. I have a thing for it. Because they don't hold back. They got something to bitch at, man. They just straight out bitch at it. And that's it. You don't you don't get no kind words from them. You don't get no solace. There's no, I'm worried about how you're feeling today. You get the straight truth and that's it. And they don't hold back on anything. I love it. I hate people that try to, you know what I mean? Oh, your feelings. You gotta go with your little feelings. No, that don't work for me, bro. Just flat out tell me what it is so I could fix it. I don't want to give a shit about my feelings. Those are gone a long time ago, man. I've been through enough of life that those are pretty much dulled down. Oh, I remember working on job sites, man. And the first thing you get, if you didn't bring one tool, man, they harassed you about it for the whole day. And you never forgot that bringing that tool again. I'll tell you that. You didn't get to borrow nobody's tool or nothing. You had to make up for it the next day on the job site. It's a different living, man. You grow up kind of hard that way. You know, I mean, even your dad's out there talking some smack on you when you're out there on the job site. You know, they're slow as molasses. Get your butt in gear and get it done. Yeah, the old school way. Oh, yeah, definitely nice. Yeah, I meant in the best possible way. Whatever way motivates you to move, or they assume it motivates you to move, or they just want to get it off their chest because they're pissed. Yeah. Oh, I remember Roadhouse. That was a good movie. Back in the day, man. Yeah. Where's the screwdriver? Dude, these days, man, I lose everything. Oh, yeah. Trades. Yeah. Well, it's not like it used to be. Everything comes in basically pre-done, and all you're doing is putting it, doing following the assembly instructions to get it done. Yeah, it's a little bit different nowadays. You go on the job sites, man. There's not a whole lot of figuring out and tape measures running around. We got these things that are preset, these walls that are preset, all the wood's cut for us. You know what I mean? Yeah, a little bit different. Huh. Roadhouse. Was that Patrick Swayze? Before you, yeah, sad to see, man. Yeah, the good old days. And then what's that guy's name, man? The silver bullet guy, the older guy, man, with the beard. And you always did the silver bullet commercials. That guy with a real deep voice, man. That guy was always cool. He was on that Roadhouse as well. I don't remember his name, man. He was on that Ghost Rider too. Oh yeah. My dad's favorite thing was to tell us, "You damn kids, all you do is tear up and destroy. Tear up and destroy and lose my effing tools, man." That's all you ever say. And then now I do the same thing. I say the same thing. You know what I mean? My wife comes in and takes all my tools and everything. I could never find anything. It wasn't Nicolas Cage. It was another actor. Um, like I said, man, he did all the silver bullet commercials, real deep voice, always had the gray beard. He played with Nicolas Cage on the Ghost Rider. And he had the horse. You remember the old timers that was on the horse with him? And then you had Nicolas Cage on the motorcycle. That scene. Can't think of his name, man. Yeah. Old school, yeah. Yep. Spark gap changes your system because it puts it into resonance. Huh. Not voodoo, man. Sometimes you got to learn these things. They change your system just a little bit. They create a vacuum every time that you pull a spark gap, man. It pulls a vacuum into it and it realigns the resonance in your system. Run multiple spark gaps and you'll start to see it. Yeah. Never touch my tools till you ask. Yeah. Voodoo machine. Nice. Yeah, I still got my dad's old tools, man. I got quite a bit of them. So, yep. It couldn't work on an old Chevy though. It was funny because we got a different truck and wanted to be sitting there. There you go, Sam Elliott. There you go. That's the name. Love that commercial, man. Silver bullet. Oh, yeah. Everybody gets weird about their tools, man. I still do too. So I'll be honest with you. I use less and less of them today. I just use them for simple mechanics around here. My toolbox haven't seen a whole lot of heavy work in a while. Most of the time they go, "Hey, Grandpa, come over and put up this TV for us. Hey, Grandpa, come over and build this, little race car we got for the kids." That's about what my tools get used for these days. So it's kind of cute, man. My little granddaughter sits there with me and, he hands Grandpa the tools, what I mean, which one we need and all the parts, and then we put them together. Kind of some of the funnest times of my life, man, right now. My kids, we all did it when we were, when I had kids, we had Nerf, those little Nerf guns, man. And I used to clear all the pictures down in the house, put them down so they would get knocked over. And we straight out did Nerf wars in the house, man. All the kids would come over, you know what I mean? Brothers, kids, everything. And it was the funnest time, man. We do the Nerf wars and had all kinds of different things, man. And I got stuck right between the eyes from my brother's daughter, man. Hilarious. The rule was if you shot him in the face or you shot him in the groin, you had to apologize. And then you went on and played the game. You got over it quick. And, you know what I mean? That was the only rule. So, oh, man, those things are fun. So you try to get the ones you can load up as many of those little Nerf things in there as you can. Oh, yeah. Sam Elliott, Highwaymen video. Nice. I used to listen to Highwaymen, man. With what was it? Chris Christopherson. You had in there. Oh man, sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. Old school, man. I listen to them all the time too. With the song "Hurt" and oh, come on, Nathan. God, you can tell I'm getting old now. Johnny Cash. You also had the guy with the long hair, Nelson, Willie Nelson. Yeah, Highwayman. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. I listen to the guy all the time. Large March. They used to be able to get away with that stuff, man. You get the bus that said "Y load" on it, and it was a thing in the '80s where they'd always make fun of stuff. Like, dude, you can't watch much stuff from the '80s. These people these days, they don't get it. They just don't. They're so prancy. They don't quite get it. The '80s was the best, man. The best TV shows. You know what I mean? You got Married with Children. Al Bundy was like the best, man. Always complain, always give him crap about everything. Yeah. Best TV show. Nice. Yeah, 88, dude. That was a fun time for me, man. Fun time for me. I feel older just saying it, but it was. Yeah, I still watch the old stuff, man. Yeah, back in the days, man. You know, I saw they came out with a new Fall Guy, dude. I can't bring myself to watch that. If you ever watched the original, man, with Heather Thomas in it, oh man, that blonde chick was hot. And Lee Reynolds was the main characters, the $1 Million Man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I saw who they got to play him. I said no, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you, man. Yeah, I'll pass. You ain't got the same stuff. Okay, that's when square body trucks, the 4x4s, the Chevys were in style, man. And running around on there. What do you got? 33s or 35s on there, man. The thing was awesome. Yeah. Glenn Larson, is that the younger guy? That was on there? Yeah, dude. No, thank you. I'd rather go back and watch the old TV show. Or I remember that. What was that guy? Superhero guy. Believe It or Not, I'm Walking on Air was the song. When he came out, he had the red suit on, and he was like a Superman type, but he kind of fumbled around everything. Or what was another good one? That time traveler one, where he traveled in time to different people's bodies, and you know what I mean, just live out whatever they needed to figure out in their life before they passed. So that was a good one, man. Yeah, great American Hero. I watched Mork and Mindy. Yeah, I did. What was that show? Let me see. What's that called? Oh, it was a $10 million man. Sorry about that. Okay. I just remember it, man. He got the bionic parts in him. Quantum Leap. There you go. Quantum Leap's a good show, man. I like the actor from that show too, man. He played in Star Trek. I watch all the Star Treks. He played in the pre-Star Trek, or you know what I mean. That one, it was pretty good. Nice. Steve Majors. Nice. Yeah, they had a bunch of good shows, man. Nowadays it's all reality TV and drama. Stupid stuff. Can't watch it. Just mindless dribble. I could care less who they're sleeping with. I could care less who they're doing things. I could care less how they stretch their face 100 times. You know what I mean? Or how many times you go to the boob doctor. I just don't care. It's not interesting. Charlie's Angels was a good show. A bunch of hot chicks on there. Of course, it's a good show. I always watched that as a kid. Heck, you'd watch Magnum PI, not for Magnum, but because he had a bunch of hot chicks on the show. Oh, we're just talking crap, man. That's all. Just have a little fun. Oh, man. UFO UK, I didn't see that one. Earth 2. Nice. Magnet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They used to have America's Funniest Home Videos. Then they went to Jackass. And then it all kind of, well, would they have the one on MTV for a long time? Yeah, I remember all those ones too. It's always fun to see somebody else in misery and pain for a little bit. You know what I mean? They fall off their bike or smash their nards or go out there with you know what I mean, their skateboard and they always find the rail with their balls. That it's like a magnet attracting them. They have to nail them at least once a show. Yeah, that was bad. I remember that dude, you know, going in on a big 12-foot skateboard ramp, man. And my brothers built a half pipe in the backyard. So you had a 12-footer, and then you had an 8-footer, and then you had a 6-footer that crossed over to a 90-degree angle for another one, man. And dude, one of my buddies went down that thing, man, got a splinter right in his butt, dude. Fucking hilarious. He had to go out. His mom pulled the splinter out of his ass, dude. Oh, we laughed about that one. Well, you gotta watch hot chicks when you're a kid, man. That's how you survive. Yeah, I remember Benny Hill. Yeah. What is that? That one, the biggest, thickest. The, that was pretty funny, man. That came on just recently. I don't usually watch that show, but that one was good. That from the UK. Huh, there you go, ridiculousness. I watched that one quite a bit. Antigua with the Benny Hill girls. Oh, the mean skaters in Germany, man. Yeah. Oh, dude, skateboarding is a hard life, man. I was skinny at one time, and I still fell all over the place, man. Never got the hang of anything. Just happy at the fact that I got to enjoy a little bit of it. You know what I mean? So, but I wasn't afraid to take the hits and falls from that thing. Not a problem there. So, yeah, it was good fun, man. Good ride, good honest fun. Not sitting in front of the TV all day. Got to go out and you don't think it's a workout, it's more fun, but nowadays it'd be like a chore. You know what I mean? Just to hit the skate park. Yeah. A little bit old school, man. A little bit old school. Then they got into those razor blades and you know what I mean? Roller blades with a single line in them. Yeah, I used to have a big roller rink. That used to be the thing back in the day, man. Y'all go to the roller rink and hang out, and you know what I mean? You go there on school trips. Now it's not that way. Now it's not that way. Yeah. Gotta like them oldies but goodies, man. Gotta love that stuff. Even back in the day, comedians, man. Go back and watch some of those things. They were on the Jardy Carson show. Absolutely hilarious, man. Some of those comedians back in the day, oh, they were tearing it up. Anytime Rodney Dangerfield's on, man, I'll stop and watch. That guy was funny. A little bit of Sam Kinison in there. I want to call him Dr. Doolittle. Eddie Murphy, man, before he became Dr. Doolittle and Tame, Eddie Murphy was just raw as they come, man. That was awesome. Eddie Murphy back in the day, man. That was something to watch. Yeah. He did Raw, and he did a couple other ones, man. I think Delirious. Yeah, there wasn't no helmets back in the day. Huh. You just saw, oh, nice. Sam Kinison. Yeah, Sam Kinison yell at you. Oh, Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, that was a good one, dude. I like that one. That was funny, man. He always mess with people. Like I said, before he kind of went Hollywood, he had some real good comedy stuff, man. Yeah. You gotta love that stuff. You gotta laugh. I teach my kids all the time, man. You gotta laugh. We were watching I want to call him Bert. I don't think that's his name though. Is it Bert Young or something like that? The guy that takes his shirt off, you know what I mean, all the time, the comedian. And he gets out there and he always talks about the machine and how he was in Russia and they robbed the train. That guy, dude, he was on a comedy special just recently, and he was talking about going through this haunted house thing or something with his father, I think it was his father, and he was over there busting ass, dude, inside of this thing that they could barely get through, and he's like killing the whole room, dude. I laughed so hard, bro. That was like the best because when you got somebody confined in a space like that and you're ripping ass, dude, there's nothing funnier. Okay. You just fall over laughing. Okay. And the way he described it was the best, dude. So yeah, that was pretty funny, man. Oh, yeah. Some of the greatest comedians, man, some of them just ruin things. Oh, some of the Saturday Night Live comedians just ruin things. Like, I'll tell you what, Will Ferrell, some of his movies are funny, and then some of them he just goes too far and it ruins the joke. So that's kind of a love him or hate him thing. But back in the day, like, you got Chevy Chase, back, what I mean? You had Eddie Murphy back then. Those are the days. I mean, I give it to you there. So when you got into the later ones, man, it was either love or hate it. And then, Adam Sandler was on there. And I'll still watch one of his movies, man. Matter of fact, I just watched Happy Gilmore Part 2. I like the original better, but it was still funny. Yeah. Some cool stuff, man. Yeah. Some of them, man. I like some of those comedians, man. I still remember that they did that golf thing, man. And you had Chevy out there going, no, 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 no. Every time he hit it, that was great. Old school. John Candy was the best. Oh my God, I was just watching something about that. Remember when he did the one where we went out to the oh man, what is that called? We went out to the forest and they had the bear out there and they had the light bulb shotgun and they blew the hair off the bear's ass. That one was funny. The Great Outdoors. And then when he ate that huge steak, I was just watching that today. It was a 96-ounce steak. Oh my God, dude. I've always wanted to try that. Win, lose, or draw. I still want to try that. Take out my old, take out my teeth, man, and get going on it. So John Candy was the best, bro. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Oh, that was funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's been about 2.5 hours. I want to say thank you to Ulysses, man. 50 Man Builds memberships. Whoever got them out there, man, I hope you really enjoy it. We got some cool stuff on there. Adding new content all the time. I got like 4 or 5 more videos I got to add on that thing. And then we're doing the other channel. Like I said, we're doing the Rodin coil. We'll be into the geometry coil soon. I just need some more wire, and we're going to get on that. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that on my second channel. And then here, man, I can't wait. We're going to pull some more RAV stuff together. We got some presentations to go out and do for some other channels. So I'll keep you guys informed. And then on Friday, I'm going to be doing double work. I'll do my show here. And then we're going to go off and talk UFOs and the other channel. And I'll get you guys all the information there. But, man, yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you guys, man, doing some old school stuff and talking about that and doing exciting science, man. So what's up, Charlie C? What's going on, brother? Thank you. Anyway, man, have yourselves a great night, man. Appreciate y'all.
The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to instead. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds.